Sometimes the shots present themselves and you're just there to get it. So, but that, a little bit of organization helped me a lot figure out how can I use my time on site wisely? How am I making sure I'm not going to miss or what I think is missing a shot? And know when I come back to the office, okay, I got something good. I don't have to throw everything away. I'm Patrick Black, and I call myself the professional button pusher for Baker's Construction Services. Okay, so right now, I personally love these lined up shots that are like coming directly at the camera. They feel like the most active action shots. And then what I'm gonna try to do as he comes by is the sun's coming over, the logo's in view, hopefully get a glimpse of the guy's face as he's driving. So I kind of have three shots I look for. One is like the logo shot where the BCS logo is clearly in view. That makes for a good picture. It doesn't really matter what else is there. The next one's kind of like my evergreen shot. Stuff that is not really job specific, things I can use for any kind of content post. And then I have job site specific photos that I'm looking for. So if it's a blasting site like this, I might have something specific I want to capture, like them putting AMFO in the drill holes. So the other day when I was here, as they were pouring it in, I kind of wanted an upward shot of it. So sometimes things will kind of click into mind. So with those three in mind, that's kind of what I have in my tool belt as I'm looking around at what's here. I think when I first came on site, it was really hard to figure out what I wanted to spend my time on. And once I kind of nailed those three, it helped me categorize what I'm looking at and help me know when I've seen a shot that I want to see. A little bit of organization helped me a lot figure out how can I use my time on site wisely? How am I making sure I'm not going to miss or what I think is missing a shot? And know when I come back to the office, okay, I got something good. I don't have to throw everything away.
So when you're working through a job site, do you try to get a variety of like wides, mediums, and tights, or are you always focused on a tight with a logo or an action, or do you try to show scale of the job sites?
Yeah, that's kind of one of the philosophies I think about is the photos that I've liked looking at that have to do with heavy equipment. They show scale really well. So I try to keep that in mind for some shots. I think you'll notice a lot of kind of upward looking ones. If I'm doing a drone, I'll try to get as low as possible and shoot upward just to show that. I don't know where I saw it. You might have posted or somebody else, but just getting shots in threes where it's kind of a tight, a medium, and a more wide shot. That helps me when I'm going through the editing process. I go, oh, actually, that tight shot worked really well, or maybe it works in a series or whatever it is. So I kind of shoot in threes of an action happening. People use the term like storytelling with photography or videography. And I think it's really broad and vague. You almost think you need to write something down, you need to have some kind of plot, but it needs to be even simpler than that, is that good storytelling is just getting information across with the least amount of what we call noise in between so that you can kind of understand what's going on. So taking a picture of what a company like this is doing is the simplest form of storytelling, right? You see a picture of a piece of equipment doing work and you understand the beginning, the middle, and the end of that story already. So that's all it is when you're doing storytelling is, are you just giving a clear picture of what's going on? And that's why a picture is worth 1,000 words, I guess. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just getting a picture that has the information in it in a way that people like to look at is a great way to tell its own story. Kind of talking to these guys and making sure I understand as much as I can while I'm doing it helps me figure out, oh, okay, there's a part that I'm missing. I didn't take that picture yet, or I didn't get a video of them, doing that activity just because I didn't know it had to happen. So industry knowledge helps.
What I love to do when I'm on these job sites is I like to ask questions because the stuff's interesting to me and I like to learn.
Yeah, and it helps you understand, like if you're a naive audience to whatever's going on, you're a pretty good view for whoever's looking at the picture, whoever's looking at this content, because they might also be a naive audience. So you're kind of helping them enter this side that they don't understand. You're kind of bridging that gap of knowledge. And if you can get a good picture or a good video that helps bridge that gap, then you're doing exactly what it is that a photographer or videographer needs to do for a company. Marketing is just bridging the gap between knowledge and ignorance. That's right. It's the grand strategy of marketing. You know, you got to really broaden out how people see us. How do I get people to engage with the content? Because I think construction marketing, maybe it's because people are on the outside of the construction world doing the marketing, or maybe it's because people are construction workers doing the marketing. I'm not really sure, but people don't get social media all that right. They just kind of post really boring corporate-y content just because everyone else is. And I don't know, like, why would you want to follow that page? Why would you want to share that thing? Why would you want to comment? Why would you want to like? Why would you want to send it to somebody? Is the mindset that I have. Because that's how we engage in social media, is half the time, you know, we're sharing something that we think is funny. I mean, I think it boils down to how it engages your emotions. So if I can get somebody to kind of want to one-up me in an egotistical way, or think it's funny, or think it's relatable in some way, then they share, then they comment, then they like, and that's kind of where the win comes in. And then that's when people follow along, is because they want to see more of a similar type of content.
When was the last time you shared something boring
Exactly.
with a friend or a family member? No, the things that make it into the group chats are the exciting things, the fun things, the cool things, like the funny things, anything that's entertaining. They don't share boring stuff. So if you're only ever sharing boring stuff, well, it may not resonate with people.
Exactly. And I think you have to have a goal with your posting. Social media is so easily accessible that people just assume that you just post. That's all you do. And that's part of it. Like, consistently posting is like 70% of what makes social media creators successful. But the other part is, how do I keep people coming back? How do I gain new viewers? How do I, grow, this viewership? And it's, well, you got to find something that people want to watch and engage with. And I think I like to trick people into knowing what our services are. Like, all of the content behind the joke or the meme or whatever it is us doing some kind of work. And so you're just watching us do a particular type of service and basically getting tricked into finding out what it is because you're laughing through it, or you think it's relatable, or you think it's really cool. Just, some big machine doing something really cool. I wish I had a backlog of amazing ideas, but honestly, a lot of it just comes as soon as I can think of something. I'll start making it and save it as a draft, or usually it could be a piece of audio, especially on Instagram or TikTok. Like, ooh, that's a good audio. I don't know what it's going to be for yet, but I will save that so that if I do find something that fits, I'll use it later. So if you can get people to have a high completion rate on your videos, then they are highly recommended. They go wider. And that's kind of one of the data secrets, I think, that people don't realize.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me that simply, if I make content that people want to watch, the platform will push that. Interesting. That's wild.
That's it.
Because their goal is to keep you on the platform.
Correct.
And if you're constantly putting out stuff that people swipe away from, well, they're not going to push it because you're no longer keeping people on the platform.
Correct. And you can watch that in real time. Everybody's seen videos that they put out that are more kind of artsy. Oh man, I really put some passion into this. This really tells the story of my brand. And on basically all the channels, all the social media channels, it just dies because it's not what other people want to watch. It's what you want other people to watch, but it's not what they want to watch. So you have to have a careful balance of, how do I tell a story in a way that is still aligned with our mission, our vision, but also conveys it in a way that people actually want to see it?
Yep. And you guys do a killer job on socials. So appreciate you having me out.
Yeah, man. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right. Well,